to I Go Travel with Don Barnett. We're headed for Sante Fe, New Mexico. And we'll go see some of the Hispanic Spanish influence down in that country. We'll take a look at some of the scenery a little bit, but we're really going to look at some world-class art work, sculpture work. And you're going to get a chance to put a bid on some of that artwork. Let's see how good you are down there in Sante Fe. Okay, it'll be fun. Come on, let's go. We're on the road to Sante Fe, New Mexico. We're in a truck camper, a 350, and 2 bicycles. We're headed south, and we're headed for high, dry country. If you go there in the winter, it can catch you in some bad snowstorms, but in the summer, it is high and dry. We're basically going to see some world-class art, and here's a peek of some of the stuff that we're going to see. But we're going to see some other things along the way as well. Another thing we'll do later in the travelogue, we'll test your skills at assessing the monetary value of some classic art pieces. So, get ready. Find the H in the middle of this map. It stands for high country. Water runs downhill, so two major western U.S. river flows out of the Colorado mountains. The left side, zigzag black line, is the Colorado River, and we've made travelogues on Las Vegas and other places along it. The other significant river is the black zigzag line that runs straight downhill, which is the Rio Grande River. It then, later at the bottom of the map, it will bend southeast to form the U.S.-Mexico border. It flows through 3 places in this travelogue. We're mostly in Pueblo country, which is along the river. The Indian Aboriginal groups on this map are for another travelogue. And by the way, these are only a few of the Indian or indigenous groups in this part of the country. But that's for some other travelogues that we'll be going on. We're heading for the 3 squares on the right side, which are Taos, T-A-O-S, the first small square that is not written in, and the cities also of Sante Fe and Albuquerque. These all 3 are significant places in Western American history, but we're going to focus on Sante Fe later, because the main purpose of this travelogue is to look at some of that world-class art. Erosion by the water and the wind over the centuries makes for unique and a very picturesque country. Just north of Sante Fe is Taos, T-A-O-S, one of the older Spanish communities in the area. I found the style of architecture in this whole area very unique. Dried timber in the buildings of the dry clay seem to last forever. Historically, the clay-based walls were reinforced with slivers of straw and or grass. Taos is the hometown of famed Army scout and frontiersman Kit Carson. Like many historical figures, there is more than a single interpretation of the person. On the one hand, Carson was a skilled scout who led several generals across the new wilderness land. He was instrumental in rounding up native people and sending them to that inhumane experience of the long march to Florida and back to Oklahoma. He was well known and famous for his skills. He had opportunities for promotion within the army, but preferred to remain under command of someone else. He was the perfect right-hand man for the generals. A less complimentary interpretation of Kit Carson was that he was an unremorseful, cold-blooded killer under legal license of the military. He could kill and eat a hearty supper meal within the same day. Without hesitation or question, he sent friends, in-laws, and foes alike to the forced march called the Trail of Tears. This church is a replica of the historic church destroyed in the Pueblan Mexican Rebellion in the 1800s. Under a massive American army assault, Pueblan families fled to the assumed safety of their church, thinking the Americans would not attack a sacred church. They made a deadly error in judgment. Military cannon fire poured into the church, leveling the building indiscriminately, killing men, women, and children. Their graves and remains of the church continue to be a reminder of the scene of terror in which about 150 were killed in the church and another 30 executed soon afterwards. We've moved south to the biggest of the cities, Albuquerque, and we're at the Tourist Information Center. The statues there illustrate the overwhelming Spanish presence in this area. Sword and Bible was followed by Spanish settlement. And all of this occurred at least 2 generations before the American War of Independence. The green lines show that the Spanish Empire spread from the southern part of the U.S. today through all of Central America and nearly all of South America, with the only exception being the current-day Brazil, which was colonized by the Portuguese. Spain was indeed the empire of the day. Just look at the massive size of what they called New Spain and compare to the relatively small size of the U.S. in colonial days. On this map, you can see the one-time size of Mexico before war and forced negotiation reduced its present-day northern border to being south along the banks of the Rio Grande. They introduced the New World to sheep and cattle. And they also introduced the New World to both the horse and the donkey. The soldiers, the men came first, but soon they came with their wives, they raised their children, and they mixed with the indigenous populations. We parked several days in the lot of the Basilica, right in downtown Sante Fe. Sante Fe ranks second only to New York as a high-end artist community. Enjoy the art at some of the galleries, and then you get ready to answer 2 questions about what you think art is worth. Make your bid on these 2 chairs. How much would you pay for them? Second, how much do you think they sold for in Sante Fe? Hurry, pause the video if you can. How much would you pay and what do you think they actually sold for? I'll give you the Sante Fe price in a minute. In the meantime, while you're thinking about that, here's a few more art pieces to look at. Just a reminder, here's those 2 chairs. You've got your price. And here's the Sante Fe price, $6,200, and I believe that says each one down there. Okay, so you want a second chance. Fine. Enjoy some more artwork, get a better assessment, and I'll let you make another bid coming up. All right, make your bid on this doe and fawn. Again, same 2 questions. What would you pay And second, what do you think the price sold for in Sante Fe? All right, good luck. Look at a few more sculptures in Sante Fe, and I'll give you the Sante Fe price for these two items, just down the road. Have your prices in mind, what you would pay, and what you think the Sante Fe price would be. Enjoy the sculptures. Here they are. What is your bid? Let's take a look at the Sante Fe price. There we are, the dear family for $50,000. I hope you were closer this time. After the first time, of course, I hit the nail right on the head. But you want another chance? Okay, we'll do a third one. Get ready. In the meantime, enjoy some more sculptures. Okay, put your bid in. This is a nice big statue, ideal for your backyard. Okay, now again, what would you pay for it? And what do you think it sold for in Sante Fe? I'll give you the answer for the Sante Fe price after we look at a couple of more sculptures. Remember this lady for the garden? How much would you pay, and what do you think the Sante Fe price would be? Okay, here we go. Let's take a look. There you are, $84,000. If you did not hit the nail on the head, you are beyond redemption. And in the meantime, enjoy looking at a few more sculptures and artwork from downtown Sante Fe. I hope that this travelogue enabled you to appreciate a couple of things. Certainly get some idea and appreciation for the extent of the Hispanic culture that still exists down in that part of the country. And the other appreciation I hope you got was a greater appreciation of your ability to judge good art one way or the other. Well, okay, hit the subscribe button. We're going to more places and we're bringing them back here onto the travelogues. Okay, adios.